Hang on.
All right, Mr. President.
Wait on you.
Thank you, sir. For our Public Works, Community Services, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, we have two items, diversified elevator and ALDOT. And so is that, who's going to do that? Will that be you, Cap? All right.
The elevators, the maintenance of the elevators for ESD, $72K over 3 years. The ALDOT permit is a company who's having to do some work and move our easement, so it's no cost to us. It's simply a permit over off Shades Crest and State Route 150.
Move 1 and 2.
All right, item has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
On our District 1 report, we have 3 community grants. The first is for Grace House Ministries. The second is for Dannon for STEM, and then Southwest Alliance Association. The motion now concerning those items?
And we'll make a pen and ink on the original budget amount of the, instead of the 50, 125.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So move.
On the number 3 Southwest Alliance, you've got grant amount $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
If you look down below, it said requested amount $22,500.
Yes, we just need to make that correction as well.
Which one is it?
You would want to give up 25.
Yeah.
Just switch the numbers, 20, 25 to 22.5.
Remaining after the budget, if they were transferred to the fund.
I'll move it with the 2 pen and inks.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's the end of our report.
Mr. Scott?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Community Development and Human Resource Services Committee, Cooper Green Mercy Health Services, please.
Yes, ma'am. We have, the first contract is the merge contract. That is our radiology system that holds the images and can share the images, the PAC system. The second one is OxyMed. That's for our home oxygen services. The third and the fourth one is with UAB Medical West. The fourth one is with St. Vincent's. Those are our annual contracts with the CAP so that inpatient services can be provided for our people, but we get a good deal because we only pay up to the CAP. The fifth one is LabCorp, which is our reference lab. So anything that we can't do in-house would go to LabCorp. It's a great deal this year because they gave us a flat rate for certain indigent codes. So same companies, a little bit different pricing. And the sixth one on the list is Cardinal Health, which is our pharmaceutical contract.
I have a question on number 2, Ms. Hurst, on the OxyMed. How many patients do we have on that system? Do you have an idea?
I do not know. I'd have to find out.
I'll move 1 through 6.
Second.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have the coroner's office.
We have 3 contracts this time, Commissioners. The first is a maintenance contract for the portable x-ray machine that we use in our examinations. Numbers 2 and 3 are contracts that the county has with UAB. Number 2 is for the forensic pathology services that the office provides. 3 is for toxicology services and testing that necessary for the office.
Okay.
Director John Bell, as the president of the Children's Policy Cooperative, Ms. Catherine Alexander. These individuals, they've been working tirelessly with us with our Children's Policy Council, which is of course required in every county in the state of Alabama. They've done incredible work. And if you have a moment, they would just like to just address you for just a second.
Sure.
Thank you so much for allowing us to speak for a moment. Just on continued behalf of the Children's Policy Cooperative, thank you, the court contracts with the Children's Policy Cooperative to provide services, including the annual needs assessment of Jefferson County children. This is the entity in the county that brings together all of the stakeholders, all of the individuals that work for Jefferson County children. And there are several different work groups. It's part of our mandate, and then in Jefferson County there is the cooperative, which is the 501c3 entity, which we're able to work with family court and take on initiatives that come out in these needs assessments, including and the investment in the county has leveraged the securing of over $250,000 in restricted program grant funding for the cooperative that then benefits the families of Jefferson County, including the Family Reunification Program, Child Trafficking Solutions Project and the Safe Care Program, and I'm holding on to these folders when I should be passing them out because there's information about the needs assessment, our programs, and then a proclamation which we'd like to make you all aware of that is part of the Child Trafficking Solutions Task Force, which is managed by the Children's Policy Cooperative. Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure the right way to do that. This is poor etiquette. I'm sorry.
You're just handing it here.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're not fine.
Thank you for this opportunity to serve. We look forward to continuing to work with the court, and the investment that we're seeking is to continue to do this work.
Anybody else down the table, you want commissioners go? You don't want commissioners.
Anyone else?
Y'all want more?
What's in there is actually, we do an annual report, reporting back on the work accomplished through the contract. This every year, a summary of what was done under our contract we have with the court. So that's what you have as a copy of. Oh, well, definitely. We're so popular that it's bad for you. But, yeah, so that's the information. Any questions y'all may have?
So item number 1 is 76, we're asking for $76,000 to go towards the work that they're doing. And I know she don't want me to say this, but I'm going to say it. This particular individual here pedaled and rode a bicycle from Mobile to Canada to raise money so the children wouldn't traffic.
Wow.
So these are the kind of people that are working for Jefferson County and the families that are.
How long did the ride take?
Yes, it was an interesting experience, but good.
7 months, 2 days, and 14.
It is. And the second item that we have is for the hotel and resort fees that we use for the family corporate suites that they're doing at that. And, last.
I need to make a verification of the date that you have on October the 24th.
I'm sorry, it was 2019.
Okay, 2019 change. Yeah, on the contract. Can I have a motion on the floor for items 1 through 2?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a,
Well, I have another question.
okay.
Once you got to Canada, how'd you get back?
Oh, I am so sorry.
Once you got to Canada, how'd you get
I
back?
flew.
There you go.
That took about 3 hours, the other took several weeks. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, I have a district report. I made a change, a resolution for number 4867, items 1 and 2, for public service, for Chevron Memorial Cemetery on the western side of town, Birmingham. And some funding going to a dance organization, and I would like for your approval on this.
This is a budget transfer on the public service funds where she'll be removing the $25,000 that was budgeted to urban ministry and substituting the $12,500 for Shadow Lawn Memorial Gardens and $12,500 for the Ursula dance.
Dance.
Yeah. Okay. Are they 501c3?
Yes, they are. Everything has been through the process.
Okay. All right.
You know, we want to remind the commission that I had a similar item, and we stated that this would have to come through finance.
It has been through finance.
Well,
You know, that's coming from the finance agenda.
yeah.
So if we're going to be consistent in what we do, we want to be consistent. And it's not who generates it. It's the content of what it is. So that, I'm not, if you want to go ahead and run this through, I'm fine with it. And I have no problem at all. But I just think that we need to establish a pattern and practice and be consistent in what we do as a commission. I believe that this is going to be an item of new business also. And we got a notice from our county attorney that to be on the safe side that we need to have unanimous consent from this body, just as we would from the dais and the commission does. So those are the two things that I have no objection to this, but I just want to remind the commission that if we're going to do this, let's be consistent in what we do.
Let me make a motion to move this to my agenda, if that's okay, and then we'll take it up on that, if that's okay. So I so
Second.
moved.
Okay, a motion has been made and second to move it to the finance agenda to be approved through that agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. This is the end of my report.
Good. We're just going down the line. Next is the administrative and executive committee. We have two items from roads and transportation. We have Morgan Road additional lanes amendment number 3. Amendment to update roadway design plans for Morgan Road from I-459 to South Shades Crest. And then we have conveyance of county property to the city of Mobile for the Mobile storm shelter. The first was self-explanatory, but
I'll say that one is that's the reason it's now instead of probably a year ago is AlDOT has to approve this. AlDOT's paying 80% of that 76, and it just took a while for them to agree, and we fought out the deal. So this is basically a final of that project for the design services, and it gets us some money for the design during construction to have some design changes. But
number 2 is the conveyance of property to the city of Mobile for the Mobile storm shelter. That is because of the liability involved in building the storm shelter. The city of Mobile is going to be responsible for it. So before they can begin, we have to convey the property.
Move items 1 and 2.
Have a motion?
I'll second. I do have a question. How much property are we conveying? Is this isn't there an old school or something?
We tore the school down.
Okay, we've already done that.
And there's a fire station next, volunteer
Okay,
fire
good.
department next door too.
Okay. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
County attorney, we have a personal injury claim and the minutes from the commission meeting of October 24th. Chair will entertain a motion.
Leon?
Second.
Motion been made and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The sheriff has several items. First is an acknowledgement of agreement with the Greg Jones Group for professional consulting services. $10,000 a month, 12 months. Agreement with B&H PWLLC for laundry services. Clay Chalkville Animal Clinic and Hope Animal Clinic, and a resolution for the transfer of the indigent care fund for inmate care. Are there any questions?
These are all acknowledgement only. I move 1 and 5.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have one item of new business from the sheriff's department. For unanimous consent, it's an agreement for aircraft maintenance services. They have let their 600-hour maintenance slip up on it. In order to keep the helicopter in the air, they're going to have to perform this maintenance. It has been properly budgeted, and They're waiting on the approval of the commission to begin that. This is something that will require unanimous consent.
I'd move for unanimous consent for, to add, this item to the agenda.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. I just call over.
Commissioner Ammons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scale?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson? Commissioner Stevens?
Yes, thank you.
Now, my question is this an acknowledgement, or I think it would be if it's sheriff and it's maintenance and they're budgeted, so.
It is.
It is,
It's an
okay.
acknowledgement, and it's something
Okay.
that we've already budgeted for,
Right.
and it's good to go, but in order to get it done,
Right.
we have to do it in this time and now. Chair will entertain a motion for the agreement for X-ray maintenance services.
Move the item.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Mr. Tellis, do you have anything?
I had a question for Mr. Tellis.
All right.
And I should have asked this earlier. This is in regards to Cooper Green. I understand there's a meeting with employees on tomorrow morning. Is that correct? Do you mind sharing with the commission what's the topic of discussion and who is with?
We're meeting with the employees tomorrow in different groups, starting early in the morning, going through noon. We'll have people with from UAB, also our payroll folks, talking about the transition, that we've moved the transition date to approximately April the 1st, and talk about the benefits and that all the benefits will be transferring over to the healthcare authority.
Will they also be explaining to employees that they will no longer be considered merit
Yes.
employees under this? What time does it start?
7:30.
What time is it end?
I think it's 12 o'clock.
Okay, so all commissioners should be allowed to come, right?
Sure.
Okay. That's it. Same room?
No, it's, I think the
Mr. Tellis is in the cafeteria, and there are 30-minute slots.
Okay.
I have no other District 3 businesses. Turn it over to, that is my committee report, and Commissioner Mark.
All right, start with finance, usual demands, purchasing, Mr. Henry.
Commissioners, good morning. What you have is our normal unusual demand, and our purchasing and encumbrance reports are item 2, 3, and 4. Item 5 and 6 for ratification are our credit card statements from Regions Bank and Jefferson County Credit Union. Item 7, we are adding Sheffield, City Schools to PACA, which is another member that is joining the Purchasing Association of Central Alabama. Number 8 is our annual contract with the courts for bailiffs. And then number 9 is a public service grant for Children's Village. As we, as you all just stated, all the public service grants go through the Finance Committee.
Move item 14 on.
I have a motion from 1 through 9,
Second.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, thank you. Have Budget Management Office, Individual Staff Development, are there any questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Board of Registrars, polling location change. I don't know if there's here or not. This is a polling resolution authorizing the relocation of precinct 1140 from Birmingham Fire Station 12 to Woodlawn Public Elementary. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
Or second.
I have a motion.
And second.
I said a second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Listen carefully.
I can't be sure. I told you that. Okay.
They're right after
I know.
travel. They just blended in.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're not hitting. Okay, I have a couple of budget amendments. Mr. Henry, you want to take these?
Yes, sir, Commissioner. So what you have in front of you, Commissioners, this is state funded So what we do is just match what the state is actually allocating us to what we have in munis. So this is just to clean up our books to ensure that what the state sends us as far as the money for BOE, tax assessor, Bessemer, tax assessor Birmingham, matches what we have in munis. So no money from county.
It looks like we're getting more back.
We don't get any money back, but the state sends us less money.
Page 13.
Number 2.
Top part of it. You're looking at
The budget amendment. I got moved it in.
Do I, on one? are we still
1,
on
2,
one?
and 3.
Do I have a motion?
Move the items.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All,
You gonna do it
I was
all?
gonna move it second.
all in favor,
Okay,
please
I'm
say
sorry.
aye.
Aye.
All right, did we get a vote on polling?
Yes.
All right. Developmental services. Bert?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm sorry if my throat's a little scratchy. I've been sick. This item is something we talked about during the budget process. It is Phase 2 of SELA. It would be funded in this fiscal year and a part in next fiscal year due to the length of the contract.
Do I have a motion on the seller?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Zoning case C 2019-008, are you going to take this?
These are essentially resolutions back to you that the covenants and conditions have been satisfied from previous cases you've already approved.
Move 2, 3, and 4.
Have a motion?
There.
All in favor, please say aye. EMA, we have an Everbridge fiscal year 2020 renewal. This is an acknowledgement only. You want to address that, sir?
Yes, sir. So the
Tell them who you are, man.
I'm Chris Tate with Travis County EMA. The item there for Everbridge System Renewal acknowledgement only. The only slight remaining budget after request amount at $2,209 is in reference to mainly some fine adjustments and Shelby County Emergency Management coming under our contract, so we can provide those services and help those folks out. We'd like to lead the way.
All right, thank you, sir. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
General services,
Yes, sir. We have one contract this morning. This is a elevator modernization for the Bessemer Annex elevators. There's 2 each of them.
Amen, move it.
all in favor, please say aye. All right. Probate court, BUAB psychiatry.
Good morning, Commission. I'm Pamela Jones, Chief Clerk, Probate Court. What you have before you is an inter-cooperation agreement for care for the mentally ill. I also have Michelle Sellers here, who is the Director of the Mental Health Division.
Okay. Now, this is 500,000 per year, or is that 500,000 over 3 years?
It's per year.
Okay. All right, UAB psychiatry, care of the mentally ill. Would you like to move that?
I don't know, you gonna pat me on the back? Maybe if I act like I'm crazy. Move the item.
Have a motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Tax assessor Bessemer, tax management associates. Do I have a motion? Audit and compliance review. Have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye. All right, let's move this item of new business for finance. It's public service grant. It's decreasing the public service fund by $25,000 to urban ministry. That's off. And then substitute is the public service fund for $12,500 to shuttle on Memorial Gardens, and $12,500 to Ursula Smith Dance. So, huh?
Can we move the items?
We did a motion for unanimous consent. Let's repeat the motion for unanimous consent to bring this up as new business. We have a motion?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Do you need to call the roll? Roll call
Commissioner
vote.
Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Knott?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes.
All right.
I have
Okay.
a question though.
I do too.
Okay.
You go ahead, I'll you.
I just want to know more about what was supposed to go to urban ministry. Were they expecting it? And then an explanation on the two others. I get Shadow Lawn, but Ursula Smith Benson, why the change? Why take it away?
That's,
I think we will have to go into executive
Yeah.
session in order to talk about the reason the money is coming from.
Yeah, that's a,
I don't think we need to talk about it.
yeah.
Perhaps we should,
It's okay. It's just a transfer off of urban ministries for a reason. And then the substitute, you can address the second part of the question if you don't mind. You understand?
County Attorney, you know anything about this?
I do not.
Do what?
Yes, if I knew anything about that, so that do not.
All right. That's information I received this a few minutes ago myself.
Perhaps it would be prudent if we move this to the agenda, and before we actually voted on this, we did have that executive session, because it's difficult to vote on something if you don't know what's going on.
And we can do.
And it wouldn't
And
take
it
long.
wouldn't take just a minute to do that.
In the question, and it may get resolved in the meantime, just, you know. But
You know, I want to accommodate everyone, I want us to work.
Well, I mean, that's a
together.
legitimate question. And
But
it-
we need that transparency, just to know what's going on.
Mr. President?
Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir. I don't think it's a matter of transparency. I think it's a matter of just being informed of it. I want us to be very cautious of the words that we use, because I don't think that there's anything that's being hidden. I think that there was a discussion that Mr. County Attorney wants. We have this executive session. You may recall that participation in two projects would probably not be expedient. So that's basically what this is an attempt to do. And I think once we get that clarification and understanding, that's why I'm making sure that it's not being stated that it's about transparency. I think it's just a matter of being totally informed of what has been recommended some months back. And I think once everybody is briefed again, then they'll see why that this was the best way to go.
I understand from you.
And-
Is this coming from you or coming from?
It's coming from me.
Coming from you, okay.
And if I had to say anything about urban ministry, you wouldn't know you wouldn't even know what it was, that it existed. And Commissioner Knight did the same thing. I think it was a month ago when he took money from one organization and gave it to us.
Right.
And you didn't say one word. So.
I recognize both
So,
of
but
the
I know,
organizations.
but don't go there with me. You don't want to do that. Trust me.
Oh, baby, we'll go.
And,
I'll go anywhere.
Because I don't want to really publicly state, but Shelton Cemetery, it took the community almost 6 years to get this cemetery in the condition that it's in now. We had graves and caskets actually floating on top of the ground. So it have took us 6 years to get it in the condition to where people can actually come out and visit their loved ones. You have slaves buried out there. You have Confederate soldiers. You have really Jewish people. Everyone is buried out there in that community. It's a historical cemetery. It's on the historical register. It's over 60,000 people buried out there in that cemetery. It was an abandoned cemetery, and the community and we wanted to actually make it to where people can visit their loved ones. If you go out there now, you couldn't tell, because we have really put work into that cemetery and made it to where you can actually walk through the cemetery. And now it's being placed on a historical marker, because we're getting ready to put a marker out there now. And they're getting ready to actually get the records, all of the records. Michelle Obama, great granddaddy, is buried out there. They're getting ready to put it all on digital form and actually build a museum out of the I guess, I don't know what you would call it, that they had. It's like a little house out there.
The mausoleum.
They're gonna put a museum out there now, but this money is for the upkeep and the historical status of this cemetery. And this isn't the first time that I have given funding for this. I have been giving funding ever since before I became a public official. I was giving funding, and we was raising money for this cemetery for the upkeep for the community.
Who owns that?
No one owns it now. It went into it's a nonprofit that's taking care of it now, but they don't own it. They are just taking Chevron Memorial.
Is that who we're giving the money to?
That's who we're giving it to. That nonprofit. It's not going to the It's no owner.
Okay. Well,
the dance studio. They do the is it the chocolate? What is it, Mike? The chocolate nut? The chocolate nutcracker. And they get children from all over the inner city. They have about 700 people just through this whole play that they do. Most of the kids that she get is from the inner city. Kids that would never see a Broadway play, stage, or never in their life have any type of training of this on this level that this young lady provides. They actually do Broadway performance, and they have performed all over the state of Alabama, Georgia, New Orleans, and it's a very popular play. And I would even like for the commission to actually go and see it. You would be able to tell that these children come out of a underserved community.
So is this to put the production together?
This is actually
for other folks to be able to come see it?
It's for everything. It's just for everything for these kids to be able to participate in this for the whole year. It's for everything.
All of these, and we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. John Henry?
Yes, sir.
All these been through your process, have all the documentation needed and necessary to be approved?
No, not yet. This is what you all are looking at this morning is to replace the name of Urban Ministry with the names of Shadow Lawn as well as Ursula Smith Dance. Once you all approve that, then it will go through the process of us looking at the paperwork.
This is
step one in the process. Yes.
We'll control that.
Right.
I'm very certain. But now, one other question, then we'll probably move on. You are aware, and that the legislature has created a fund to take care of these underserved or non-served cemeteries. And the source of the funding is the Sheriff's Custom Department. And we have just put, how much in it?
$125,000.
$125,000.
But the problem with that is the legislature has not met and formed a board in order to distribute that money.
And the list of cemeteries, me and Scales went through this over the city council, trying to get Shadow Lawn. You remember William Parker? Trying to get Shadow Lawn on the list. You know, they didn't want to put Shadow Lawn on the list.
Why?
Because there's a lot of African Americans out there. They had over 50 cemeteries that they even had Zion Memorial, and they have an owner. So why would you put a cemetery on the list that has an owner and overlook someone that don't have an owner, period? That's why we are working so hard trying to make sure we keep up this cemetery. It took us years to get this cemetery in the condition that it's in. You would not, if you go out there now, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was an abandoned cemetery. It took years of work with this community. And if the state was doing right, it's no way I would even, you think I want to do this? You think I want to go out there and cut grass? I don't get a kick out of it. I have bad allergies. I take shots. So I don't get a kick out of doing this. This is something that has to be done in the community where I live at.
What about the, and I fully agree with you, and I voted for it, and I will continue to vote for it. All I'm doing is trying to give you an explanation, and perhaps a pathway to the future.
Future funding.
To make sure that they do what they need to do.
I went down there,
requiring
Jimmy.
us to do it.
I went down there and talked to them about this. John Rogers, Mary Moore, Rolanda Hollins. Scale said something about it.
One
on the
was supposed
list.
to be doing this, is
Who?
and one was the van doing it.
That was her bill.
It was her
yeah.
bill. We have talked to them about this. They have so many cemeteries on the list. Shadow Line, I can guarantee you, will be the last one to get a dime.
Well, they haven't done the board. You said they haven't put the
The
board.
legislature has to create a board in order to have requisitions come in and then be able to say, hey, we're going to do this or do that and do that. They haven't formed the board. The law that was passed in 2015 was that we, as the county, establish a fund and then put the money from the sheriff's permit fee into the fund, which we've done. So we've done our
And
part.
So the legislature is the one that develops
The Jefferson
board?
County delegation, yes.
Okay. So
But they the one have control of it. We've been down
if
there
the
talking.
delegation, if the delegation is good, then we can be helpful in making sure that we help get the word out that these reports
They
are
know.
put together.
They know.
They are
know,
very
'cause
aware.
we had to correspond with them as far as like, hey, we put them on notice that y'all passed this, we've done this. We were kind of seeking direction from them as to
Right.
what to do next, and that's, they said, well, we got to form our board, so.
And you have and then you have legislators, everyone that's trying to get funding for the cemeteries that's actually in their district.
Right, right.
So, the majority will actually get theirs, and so you know we're not in the majority down there.
Well, this is the Jefferson County.
So let me ask a question.
They wouldn't let me be on the board.
So let me ask a question, just for understanding. Is the heartburn that we're having this morning, is it related to the items themselves or the process by which the items are being brought before us? Because I'm getting confused in terms of what seems to be the issue here.
I don't think there's any heartburn.
Well, the reason, well, then let me, I'm gonna utilize one of your words, Mr. President. Then let me be transparent. We've never had this much discussion over community grant money. And that's why I'm asking, quite frankly, what is it that we are trying to get a consensus on, and maybe I can understand what it is, because typically we go through these community grants and everybody moves based on, I mean, you know, we do understand that there were asks from commissioners in terms of items that they wanted to see in the budget. And urban ministry was a part of Commissioner Tyson's ask. And because there was a legal decision not to utilize urban ministries in the budget, then it's just being replaced with two items that are still in Jefferson County, in Commission 2. And I'm just trying to figure out what is it that, I'm wondering why we're giving so much explanation on these items. And if you all could just help me with that,
I'll be happy. The last time we did this, I believe, was when we had that item that came up from the administrative agenda, and we did go into a very lengthy discussion about that, and wondered why it came from the administrative agenda. So we're talking about, we're talking about process. So I willingly turned that over to finance, said everything else should be come through the finance. And all we're doing now is verifying that procedure and making sure that everything is done properly. There's no heartburn at all of what we're doing, okay? It's just a clarification of that the process is being done. We've added 2 new events. What we've done, and we've gone to unanimous consent. If we have a new item come through on the advice of our county attorney. And I think that this is the way it should work.
So, Mr. President, then basically, that was all that I was asking is, to me, the process should have been more of the discussion rather than the items that were being brought forward.
Absolutely.
Because it just seemed to me, it was a whole lot of discussion around that more so than the process.
Did I make myself clear this?
No, you made yourself very clear, Father, but I'm gonna make myself very clear to you as well, that I'm saying that if the process is the issue, let the issue be the main issue. I mean, personally, when any of you all have brought any community grants before us, I never thought that I needed to highly scrutinize it, because I believe that obviously you saw that that was a need in your district. And it just appeared to me that the discussion was going away from what obviously was the issue, which was the process. And hopefully the process itself is being addressed today so that in the future it can flow the way we've all agreed that it will do. But I know that it was an attempt, and God knows we don't want to talk about Chatillon and some of these other cemeteries that obviously are not getting perpetual care. And you know, a lot of citizens don't know how some local cities, particularly Birmingham, just like the cemetery across the street from here that has General Mudd that owned, well not owned, well I guess he did own Antebellum House. Arlington. He owned it. And he's over there, but the city of Birmingham by ordinance adopted that cemetery, and then it placed those individuals there. However, because the following counselors weren't smart enough to use that as a model to say, if you can do it for General Mudd, then you can also do it for Michelle Obama's grandparents. So since that didn't happen, then that's the reason why you see this intervention of today. Okay, but I just thought that, Mr. President, it was going a little out there left, so I didn't want us to be discourteous to one another if we can avoid it.
Not at all. Let me clarify that too also. These are not community grants. These are from the commission as a whole.
Right.
Sure.
So that is much different. No one has ever questioned, to my knowledge, that, so you're talking about something that we passed in budget and subsequently passed in commission, okay? And to offer a budget amendment from the public service fund, it comes from the entire commission.
The same as Commissioner Knight did.
And we don't,
Right.
and that's a process that we follow.
Right.
So, and when we scrutinized the budget, we scrutinized it pretty hard, and we had some disagreements on it. So, all we're doing now is making sure, and you got no problem at all doing it, okay? But we did scrutinize it, we did look at it, and we all approved.
And
So it's
the
not a
process
move.
is the same in the public service funds as they are in the community grant funds, basically. So I have a motion. Do I have a motion on this to?
Well, can I have just one thing real quick?
Let me
I
get a
just
motion in a second so we can move on,
Well-
then you'll have discussion. How
Well,
about that?
I'll make the motion after.
Are we moving the item to the
I wanted
agenda,
to
that's
speak
the
to
motion?
Commissioner
Go ahead.
Scales' concerns.
Yes, please.
That I didn't know anything about Chatillon or the dance.
And
And so
now
I
we
just
know.
wanted to know.
So that's good
And so
information.
I'll move the item.
Have a motion?
Second.
All right.
And it's with
Any
us
further
moving into the
discussion?
agenda.
Correct.
And pending legal,
process.
and given the explanation in terms of what.
And I'm not so
Process.
sure that excuse me, Commissioner, I'm not so sure the executive session will be contingent upon this, because it will be more of
I
an
think it'll be
explanation
resolved.
concerning,
I think it'll be resolved.
yeah, I think that will be taken care of.
Okay. So
We'll
we
work
move
through
the
that.
item to the agenda and get it first, and I second it.
Any
Okay.
further discussion?
No.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Do the roll call, Millie, or is the voice okay?
No, we did one roll call.
All right. My only other thing is, I want to just say a shout out to my staff for the excellent job they did last year, and we have come in about $50,000 under our office budget. So well done for them. That ends my report.
Okay, next we have Information Technology and Economic Development Committee.
All right. Good morning. Information technology, items 1 through 5 are IT.
I'll move 1 through 7.
Well,
Second.
all right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, and I have a community grant for the State Hills Miracle League Field. This compounds what we did with Commissioner Stevens last year, and I'm trying to get. We have a naming right for them, and I'm trying to make so it's for the on-deck circles at the Miracle League, and I'm trying to get them to do the county nickelhead as the on-base or the on-deck.
Where they have the little circles where
so we
that'd
make
be
that
good.
the nickelhead, I think they can do it. So, do I have a motion on the community grant?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Oh, and thank you for everybody that came and participated in the economic development.
Very informative, we appreciate that. I'd like for you to do that each quarter, or maybe twice a year, to keep the commission informed.
As to where and what, and that'd be
What,
good.
who, what, when, and where. And as we move forward, Commissioner Caution, you had something?
Yes, I have one announcement for the employees today. It's you versus the flu. All employees can receive a flu shot today. You will receive a $10 gift card for participating from Publix. It is from 10 to 2 on the 9th floor in room 902. I want you to remember that this is very important, and I've been doing flu shots since 2013 because I almost died from the flu. When I first got on the council from hugging a constituent that had the flu and really didn't know it, when about time I made it home, I was being rushed to the emergency room.
You said you was mugging a constituent.
I felt like I had got mugged. I felt like I had got mugged behind that. And I know it's very important that we do. I know we hear a lot about the flu, and that well, I caught the flu right after I took a flu shot. You was gonna catch the flu anyway. It just so happened that you actually took a shot at the same time that the virus was actually in your body. So it's actually bring your insurance card up to the 9th floor, room 902, and get your flu shot.
Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
I also have some good news as well, being that you thought it very nicely to appoint me to the Birmingham Waterworks, being the liaison on our behalf. And I'm very excited because we went over last week, they had a public hearing, Birmingham Waterworks Board, and they have agreed to match the county's $1,250,000 for sewer assistance. So I wanted to make sure that we had that noted in our meeting today. I'm very excited. Didn't expect for them to take a vote when they did, but glad that they did.
Good work.
Yes, sir. Always appreciate it coming from you.
Well done.
Hey, I just wanted to report some good news. The internship program for the wastewater operators, of the 7, I believe 5 have passed the operator test. 2 more are taking it very soon, so we're really excited. So David and HR folks will give you a more detailed update later on, but that's what I heard last night.
That's been a work in progress, hasn't it?
That's huge. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I appreciate you engaging and all that. County Attorney, you got anything?
I do not.
CFO?
No, sir.
We're adjourned.